Hi, my name is Ethan, and I'm a helicopter flight instructor here at UND Aerospace. I started as a flight instructor when I graduated in May 2017, but I began the program here at UND in June 2012. I started on the fixed wing side, and after earning my private that fall, I switched over to helicopters and began flying helicopters in January 2013. At UND, I've flown a number of different aircraft. The first was the Cessna 172, and I was working on my private fixed wing rating. Then coming over to the helicopter side, I started in the H300, then did my instrument rating partially in the Bell 206. After that, we started moving our fleet into the R44. I did that transition and began instructing in the 44. And in Saudi Arabia, flew the Bell 505. I was fortunate enough to have been selected to be part of the team that flew our third and fourth Robinson 44 helicopters back to Grand Forks from the factory in Torrance, California. I needed to build some time in the Robinson to be able to instruct in it, so this cross-country flight proved a perfect opportunity for me to get those hours that I needed as we were transitioning the fleet away from the 300. It was a blast. You know, there was a lot of the country that I hadn't seen before, the American Southwest, so getting to see that part of the U.S. and being able to fly over it was a great way to experience it. If I had to offer advice to incoming students interested in aviation-related career, networking is key to kind of building a career and succeeding in the helicopter world. But another piece of advice that I would offer that's kind of life advice too, I suppose, is a phrase that my soccer coach told us in high school, which is take advantage of the opportunity. And what I mean by that is every time you show up to the airport for a briefing or a flight, you've got an opportunity to learn something new, kind of broaden your experience, and so you know, show up and take advantage, don't just coast through. Additionally, UND has afforded me lots of different opportunities. I've been to the Robinson Safety Course, I've been to the Bell Flight Training Academy, I've ferried 2 aircraft from California to North Dakota, I went to Saudi Arabia and gave flight instruction there. And all those things, you know, constituted a little bit of risk on my part, you know, especially going abroad to Saudi Arabia. And it would have been easy for me to stay at UND as a flight instructor in Grand Forks and build my time all the way through here and then move on. But, you know, I sort of had the point of view of, you know, try and say yes to as many different experiences as I can, and that's been hugely rewarding for me. And I think as a student and a pilot in general, the more different experience you can build, the more well-rounded you're going to end up being. I know everybody was affected by the COVID pandemic, myself included certainly. Before the pandemic broke in the U.S., I had a job lined up away from UND. That ended up being postponed for about a year. I was very fortunate to still have my job at UND, so when many people in the helicopter world were not flying, we were still providing training here and able to continue building time and experience. So once you got used to the precautions that we were taking in the aircraft to prevent the COVID spread, flying during the pandemic was really just as productive and fun as it had been before the pandemic, save for the one complaint that everybody has, which is the foggy sunglasses due to the mask. So I think we all kind of experienced that year of setback in terms of, you know, what goals we were trying to accomplish and that kind of thing. But things are starting to turn around now, and I feel like we're, you know, in general and in the industry, able to start, you know, moving forward again as we had planned pre-pandemic. So, I'm very excited to share the news that I accepted a tour pilot position with Maverick Helicopters. Maverick is one of the largest aviation tourism businesses in the world. They started their operation in 1995, and today they operate 6 locations in Nevada, Arizona, and Hawaii. Primarily helitourism based, also some charter work as well. And my role with Maverick is going to be flying tours both over the Las Vegas Strip and out to the Grand Canyon, where we actually fly into the canyon and land and then shut down. My first flight instructor at UND was Mark, and I actually heard about Maverick from him. He went to work there after finishing his time as an instructor at UND. He was kind of able to make an introduction for me, and I went out and visited him in Vegas. He introduced me to the management at Maverick, and it seemed like a great fit on both sides. So when they were able to hire me, as they got busier and busier after, COVID was starting to go away a little bit, they gave me a call and asked if I could start in 3 weeks, and I said, sure. In the helicopter world, I don't think there's any standard path for a pilot. People take many different kinds of directions, but it seems that a lot of pilots go from instructing to maybe flying tours to build time, and for a lot of guys that's their first turbine job as well. The aircraft that Maverick operates is the H-130, and it's billed as the only helicopter that's really designed for aerial tourism. Some of the features that it includes in that avenue are going to be things like sort of stadium-style seating. There's glass all around the cockpit, so you've got great views, and that stadium seating allows people in the back to see very clearly. It operates a Fenestron tail rotor, so it's much quieter and more comfortable in the cockpit for the passengers. They also have air conditioning, which is going to be great in the summer months in Las Vegas. So I think it'll be a really exciting helicopter to fly. Come see me in Las Vegas.